about to go live in just a few moments, but before we lift off, there's a few important things we want to make sure that you're aware of so you get the best possible experience out of this. First of all, the sound current is supremely important to us, the musical experience. So if possible, we really encourage you to use good speakers or headphones to experience the class with. Second, if you have any pre-existing injuries, please take care of yourself, modify as you need to. Don't risk exacerbating an injury because of a yoga exercise. If you have any pre-existing medical conditions and you're not quite sure if this would be good for you, please consult with your primary healthcare practitioner and make sure it's the right thing for you. Also, make yourself relatively comfortable. You can use a cushion, and in fact, we encourage you in our seated positions, meditation practices, to use a cushion. It helps lift the heart up, keep the spine straight, and it's more ideal for the flow of energy in the body and for the meditation experience. You can even be sitting in a chair with feet flat on the floor for those of you that are unable to sit in a meditative sitting posture on the floor. Just use a chair, and for many of the exercises, that will work perfectly fine. And then lastly, if you're having any problems with the video streaming, try refreshing the page, or if you see a gear icon on the video, adjust your resolution. If you're new to this type of thing, just take care of yourself. If there's something that you don't quite understand, I wouldn't worry about it too much. Everything that needs to click will click after a few times of trying it out. Enjoy the experience. We're about to get started in just a moment.
Hi, welcome everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is where you're at. And I am so happy you're here, and I want to congratulate you for making it here this morning or whenever you're taking this broadcast, and congratulate you on starting this 40-day challenge. Whether you've done a bunch of challenges like this, either on your own or with us at the Life Force Academy, or whether I want to give a special shout out to anyone who's brand new to the Life Force Academy or to Kundalini Yoga, who is trying this out for the first time, I'm so happy you're here. And the fact that you're sitting here right now is a huge testament to your own desire to grow, to become happier, to take better care of yourself, and to just keep growing and expanding in that way. And that is a beautiful thing. So I want you to take a moment and appreciate that within yourself. And I want you to grab a little piece of paper. I have this little square. Leah has one over there too. Because today we're gonna work with some intention setting for the next 40 days of our practice. So if you don't have a piece of paper nearby or a pen or something to write with, I want you to just jump up, grab that right now, and have it next to you for the duration of your practice. I actually, while you're doing that, I have my two very best friends doing this challenge with us, and it's really fun for me because they're two people very close to my heart who do not practice Kundalini Yoga on a regular basis. And so it's very helpful for me to get their perspective and to start to explain things to them because I'm so close to it that sometimes I forget how to articulate this art and science to people who aren't so close to it day in and day out. And I asked my friend before coming up here what she wanted to hear about. And her question was well, why Kundalini Yoga in particular? Why do I want to do Kundalini Yoga in the Life Force Academy for 40 days? And when you are so close to something, sometimes or I at least forget how to articulate the power behind it. And so I was thinking about it a lot. And to me, Kundalini Yoga is all about tapping into and creating intimacy with our own energy and our own vibe. Creating intimacy with that pure part of ourselves, getting to know it really well so that it becomes something that I can take refuge in. That my own energy is a place that I can go that will hold space for me no matter what is going on in my life. That deepest, truest part of myself. And on one layer of that, it's that pure energy that all of us have in common. That I have, that you have, that Leah has, that Aki has. That's common between all of us. It's the common thread. That pure energy, that web of life. And then, on top of that, there's a way that that pure energy expresses itself uniquely through you. There's that ray of light that you uniquely are, that exists no place else on the planet, that will never exist again. And so, to me, this practice is all about cultivating intimacy with those deepest, deepest, deepest parts of ourselves. Getting in the flow with that, in the nod, the sound current, and occupying, getting more comfortable with being in that space, because then the rest of our life tends to flow so much easier. And we realize that what sits between us and experiencing that all the time, experiencing the expansiveness of my own energy, experiencing the depth within myself, between me and that is my subconscious mind. So all the layering of all the different patterns that I've picked up, at least in this lifetime, maybe hundreds, thousands of lifetimes before this one, all the thousands of thoughts that get released in every blink of an eye, all the energetic influences and things I'm picking up in the atmosphere, all of these, as they tend to accumulate, stand between us and experiencing our beauty of our own energy all the time. Well, they don't stand in between. I mean, they stand in between us being in that space all the time. Zoom really wants me to know that this meeting is being recorded. And so, to me, what Kundalini Yoga is doing for us is that it's trying to uproot those subconscious layers that are standing in between me and that experience of my own energy, that purity and bounty of my own energy. It's getting in there into the mind, into the body, into the mind, and starting to root out those deep-seated tendencies so that more often, more frequently, and more easily, I can be living from that space. And what I love about Kundalini Yoga in particular, and especially how we do it in the Life Force Academy, is that we approach it, we come to it with every single tool in the yogic toolbox that we have. So we come at it with pranayama, we come at it with movement, we come at it with meditation, with mantra, with chanting. We bring all these things together. So it's kind of coming at that subconscious layering tendency from every single angle with every single tool we have in the box. And it's an extremely powerful experience. And not only powerful, it's an extremely joyful experience. It's a lot of fun, actually, which is part of the reason why I love it so much. And with any powerful experience in life, when we set out on a powerful journey, I think it's incredibly useful to have a good intention. Jaidev touched on this on the day one broadcast that we did, the day one class, that when we set out on a journey of purifying the tendencies of the mind, of experiencing more joy, of looking at the things that might stand between us and our own happiness, that as we're undertaking this journey, something to root us back, something to come back to consistently, an intention to ground our whole experience, I find is incredibly useful. So that's a lot of what we're going to be working with this morning. Jaidev brought it up, identifying an emotional tendency that you would like to uplift, kind of anchoring this whole experience within that, and just observing and watching what changes within the next 40 days. And to me, a good intention and an effective intention doesn't come from the head. I see that when I set an intention from a head space, it becomes kind of like a fix-it operation. Like, I see this thing, and I'm going to use this practice to fix this thing. That is a beautiful aspiration. But to me, coming in at it with that headspace, that mental fix-it attitude, kind of deprives me of some of the power of a really beautiful intention. Because to me, a really good intention comes from the heart, not from the head. And I find that the best intention arises not when I'm looking at all the different things that I'd like to uplift and change and being like, oh, I want to fix this one, and I'd like to fix this one. It instead comes from letting go of all of that for a second, and instead tapping into the energy of the heart, tapping into that really vulnerable soft spot that we all have, and that pure desire to experience happiness that is so beautiful. And you would even cry if you felt it so powerfully. We all have that in common. That pure desire to experience love and happiness on planet Earth. And so when we tap into that space, our own desire to feel happiness and love, and then within that, even when we identify something we'd like to uplift, I find intention becomes even more powerful when we extend the energy of our heart to ourselves. Embracing it's like, yeah, I want to uplift this because I want to experience more happiness. But I don't get it twisted for a second. I am also just where I need to be right now. I am equipped with all the right strengths and then all the right challenges and neuroses for me to experience exactly what I need to experience here. And then from that place, in my experience, tapping into that deep vulnerability, desire to be happy, pairing that with unconditional love and acceptance for exactly where I am right now, that's where I find really powerful intentions for practice. And then in that heart space, I find not trying to rush anything or get anywhere too fast, but instead approaching it from that heart-centered place, that's actually when I see things start to move more effectively. It's the aspiration, the desire to grow, the desire to expand, coupled with, I am cool exactly as I am right now. That unconditional love and acceptance. So today, we're going to be working on, through the 40-day challenge practice, getting into that heart space and really like asking my heart, asking your heart, what is it that I want to work on? And even if you've identified it already, even if you've focused in on it and you're like, this is what I want to work on, I want you to start to cultivate that place in your heart that already feels what it's like once you've gotten there. And I want us to write it down. This is like a form of magic, I think, when we put it into the elements, when I put the pen on the paper of what I want to work on. There's kind of like a magic that happens there. It sets something in motion in my experience. And so I personally am trying to be better at it. And I'm inviting you to do this. If it doesn't call to you, that's fine. Don't worry about it. But this is what I'm going to do through 40 days. I have this tiny little piece of paper that I'm going to keep, I think, right on my mirror, so I see it every single day. You could keep it on your altar, keep it someplace where you're going to run into it every single day that will remind you why you started out on this journey in the first place. And on the first side, I wrote, I want to heal blank. That specific emotional tendency you would like to uplift. And then on the flip side, I have, I feel or I experience. And then there you could write how it feels in your heart when you've gotten to that place. Because so many of us, we all experience the purity of our own energy. And when we truly sit in that, when we're able to find that space, that's deep confidence, deep self-love, deep happiness. We all know what that feels like, whether it's in a ballet class or playing soccer or spending time with the children, whatever it is that taps us into that place, we've all experienced that at one point or another. And we already know what that feeling is within inside of our heart. So then describing, on the flip side, the tendency you want to heal, and then what it feels like when you're consistently in that space. And if you just can only identify right now the tendency you'd like to uplift, that's totally cool. Just write that down. And then throughout this 40 days, I just want us to keep using that intention to anchor our practice, to keep our focus, and to remind ourselves within our own hearts why we started this in the first place. And then we just observe, and we see what happens. So, I have my piece of paper. I invite you to bring yours. And let's go ahead and get started. For those of you who are brand new to the Academy, I highly recommend taking Life Force Fundamentals, which is a 3-part class series inside the Life Force Academy, especially created for beginners, where we kind of break down everything that we do here, especially how we do it within the Life Force Academy, and explain it. I'll do a little bit of explaining today, and I'm going to do even more explaining as we go on of why we do certain things and how to focus your energy in this way. And it's even better if you can go in there and take those 3 classes. I think it'll really help you a lot, and it'll bring more understanding and more foundation to your practice. And you're also totally cool without it if you don't have time to do it. That's an invitation. And come seated into prayer pose. Go ahead, rub your palms together. And bring your thumbs into your sternum. I want you to close your eyes and focus on your breath. Focus on your long, deep inhale. Long, deep exhale. Rooting yourself in this time and place. Now, something that's unique specifically to Kundalini Yoga is that we begin every single practice by tuning in with the mantra Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Keep your eyes closed, keep breathing. And all that means, there are many different translations. The way that I understand it personally is I bow to the wisdom that lies inside of my own heart, the teacher that lies within inside of my heart. is the kind of wisdom that no one outside of me could teach me, but that I could only experience and live for myself. So we begin every single practice with that mantra, bringing ourselves, harnessing our energy into that space, that inner divine space. Take a full inhale, full exhale. Inhale to begin. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Two more. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Inhale. And now retain your breath. Gaze your third eye. And with your breath in, you just feel that resonance through your whole being. And exhale. Bring your hands to your knees. And with your hands on your knees, start a Sufi grind. So as you inhale, you circle your chest forward. And as you exhale, you circle your chest back. Breathe. And use this to really anchor your energy into your pelvis. Feel your sit bones heavy on the ground. When we draw our energy and we anchor in this way, we're bringing ourselves into this very time and space. Take one more to this side. And now switch. Go in the opposite direction. And really enjoy your breath here. How many hours do we get in the day to just really enjoy our own breath and our own energy? So really give that to yourself and begin to cultivate that space within yourself that we're going to grow and expand on for the duration of this whole practice. Now take your deepest inhale and come up to center. And retain your breath. Gaze your third eye. So up in between your two eyebrows, you keep holding the breath in and try not to think at all. And exhale. Good job. So at the end of every single exercise in Kundalini Yoga, I'm going to tell you to inhale just like that. Retain your breath. And then this is the moment where we neutralize. and we really bring that stillness to the mind. It's said that that's the most important part of every single exercise, is that last inhale and suspension. Because you'll see, as we move through this practice, we're provoking polarity. We're going left, right, up, down, side, side. That's intentionally provoking the subconscious mind. And so in that very last moment of the exercise where you inhale and hold, that's where you bring stillness and neutralization to the whole thing. So keep that in mind as we go forward. I want you to bring your hands to your shoulders. Fingertips in front, thumbs in back. And as you inhale, twist to the left. And as you exhale, twist to the right. Focus on your breath. Now, there are a lot of times where you, in life, move the body with the body. But in a pose like this, you're moving the body with the breath, with the power and the grace of the breath. So see where you can ride that and get into that space. Every inhale left, every exhale right. Good, that's great. Last tiny little bit. Now inhale, center. Suspend your breath. Gaze your third eye. And now with the breath suspended, gazing the third eye, you lift through Mula Bandha. So it's your rectum up and in, sex organ up and in, navel up and in. And exhale. Good, that's another powerful tool we have in the toolbox. At the end of every exercise, engaging that Mula Bandha, lifting through rectum, sex organ, and navel in that order. And that lifts our energy up to our heart, to our third eye, to the higher energy centers of the body. So it's two things to keep in mind as we move forward. In that end, in the hold and suspension, you just gently lift through your pelvic floor and you gaze that third eye. Bring your hands to your knees. As you inhale, shrug your shoulders up towards your ears. And as you exhale, release them down. Keep going just like this. And part of what we're doing is consciously applying tension to our upper back, shoulders, so that then we can more consciously release everything we're holding there. So think about that as you inhale, you shrug your shoulders all the way up towards your ears. And then as you exhale, you just let it go, like gravity release. Last little bit. Now inhale. Shrug your shoulders all the way up towards your ears. Gaze your third eye, and you consciously squeeze your spine. And exhale, relax. Beautiful. So through every single exercise, as we're moving, we do this at the end of every exercise, I'll say this. We gaze our third eye, we lift through our pelvic floor in that last moment, and in a focused way in those last few moments, so consciously, intentionally. But as we're moving through the exercises as well, and even as we move into meditations, those are two focal points for us and two ways to harness our energy and attention. So that when I feel my mind wandering when I'm doing a spinal twist or a shoulder shrug, I gaze my third eye and I just gently lift up through my pelvic floor. That's my energetic support. So go ahead, final warm-up exercise, take your legs out wide. And as you take your legs out wide, flex your feet. Lift your heart up. Inhale at center. And as you exhale, turn to the left, bow over your left leg. Inhale up. Exhale down. Good, go just like this. We're opening up through the legs, through the pelvis. And as you're moving, as you're breathing, consciously send your breath to your heart. So every inhale, you feel that lift of the chest. Keep going. And now mentally vibrate to yourself. Every inhale is Sat, truth. Every exhale is Nam, identity or name. And you just mentally repeat that to yourself. Put the mantra on the breath. Every inhale is Sat. Every exhale is Nam. We just silently vibrate and repeat that through every exercise in Kundalini Yoga unless otherwise directed. And what I understand it to mean is that my real identity, the realest part of myself, is absolute truth that I can't comprehend with my thinking mind, but that I could only experience. And I love something that Jaidev said the other day, is that the absolute truth encompasses all our different relative truths, all of everyone else's other relative truths. And that the realest part of myself lies underneath all of that and yet encompasses it all. Last little bit. Now inhale at center. Retain your breath. And as you exhale, I want you to hinge forward. Use your hands here. So push down into the floor to lift and extend your chest forward. And just breathe here. As you breathe, consciously move and feel your energy moving up and down your spine. Keep gazing, third eye. Every inhale is Sat. Every exhale is Nam. Take a deep inhale. Deep exhale. And then go ahead, come up and shake out your legs. We're going to begin this 40-day practice. Now, I told Leah a lot of these broadcasts, we're going to be doing the prescribed set, the cat-cow, stretch pose, or a charge. But there are a lot of us in the Academy who are also doing Nabi Kriya with Leah as a 40-day group practice. So some of these live broadcasts, we're going to do some Nabi Kriya too, not today, but as the weeks go on, we're going to intersperse that exercise set in between some. Come onto your hands and to your knees, please. And as you come onto your hands and your knees, stack your wrists directly underneath your shoulders and stack your knees underneath your hips. Move into cat-cow. So as you inhale, reach your heart forward. As you exhale, round through your spine. Keep going just like this. Every inhale, Sat. Every exhale, Nam. You can stay with the pace of the music if that works for you. And you also don't have to at all. Feel free to go at the very pace that works for you and your body this morning. Take care of yourself. And now starting to use all these different exercises that we're moving into to feel into that heart space. Of what your heart is really desiring to create and experience in this 40-day experience. Trying to get quiet enough to really listen and hear that. Keep moving. Keep breathing. Take your deepest inhale into cow pose. Retain your breath. Suspend the mind. And exhale, get all your breath out. Pull your navel up towards your spine. Inhale, unfurl, table pose. And then come onto your backs, please. Getting ready for stretch pose. Now, Leah will demonstrate your head and your legs are 6 inches up and off of the floor. Hands are along your sides. And we're going to do a breath of fire. Good. If that's too much on the low back, you're going to place your hands underneath your butt. And then Leah will have you demonstrate what that looks like. Good. Go ahead. Relax. Take a deep inhale. Deep exhale. Root your low back into the floor. And go ahead. Inhale. Come into the posture. Start breath of fire. Really move your navel here. As we cultivate the navel power, we're increasing our Mars energy, willpower, confidence, the ability to move our own energy and create change within our life. Keep going. Good. Hold the posture. Take your deepest inhale. Gaze the toes. Pull your navel down and in. And exhale. Relax. Good. Relax all of the way. I realize that some of us here may have never done Breath of Fire before, so I want to take a quick moment just to explain it, and we're going to try stretch pose one more time. Now, Breath of Fire is a pranayama that we use throughout a lot of exercises in Kundalini Yoga, and contrary to the name Breath of Fire, it's not going to heat you up excessively or make you hot. It's more cultivating not so much that red, hot, fiery heat, but that white heat that starts to purify our body and mind. And it's said, the yogis say that we only have a certain amount of breaths in this lifetime. And it's said of the Breath of Fire practice that from the moment you start to the moment you stop this pranayama, that it only counts as one inhale, one exhale. So it's a powerful tool to increase our longevity and our health. So let's try it, breaking it down for a few moments here. I'm going to have you stick out your tongue. We're just laying on the floor. It's no big deal. Stick out your tongue. And you're going to pant like a dog. Keep going just like this. And you notice, as you pant, how the navel is moving and pumping on every exhale. That's a conscious and intentional action that we cultivate within this pranayama. Now keep that equal inhale, equal exhale. Keep that movement of the navel, and you just bring your tongue into your mouth, and you continue. So that's Breath of Fire. Good job. Deep inhale. Deep exhale. And don't worry if it feels awkward right now. You're going to have so much time to cultivate and grow within this pranayama. So don't worry about it too much if it doesn't make sense in this moment. Just do your very best. We're going to do stretch pose one more time. Take a deep inhale. Deep exhale and root that low back down into the floor, navel towards the spine. And then you inhale into the posture. We'll show Leah doing it. Start Breath of Fire. That's beautiful. Keep going. Cultivating that inner white heat that purifies body and mind and allows the pure goodness of our energy to shine through. Last little bit. Hold the posture, take your deepest inhale. And now pull your navel all the way into your spine. Hold. And exhale. Hug your knees into your chest. Grab a hold of opposite wrists or opposite elbows. Lift your head up, place your nose in between your kneecaps. So you're squeezing everything in, and then you release your shoulders down your back. Deep inhale. Breath of fire. Hold the posture. Deepest inhale. And with the breath in, consciously squeeze. And exhale, relax. Grab a hold of the backs of your thighs. And as you inhale, rock forward. As you exhale, rock back. Massaging the spine here. And then as you're ready, come up, easy pose. This is one of my personal favorite exercises of all time. Bring your fingertips into the pads of your hands and extend your thumbs out. Lift your arms up to a 60-degree angle. And see, I have like bendy elbows, hyperextended elbows, so I really consciously have to focus on straightening my arms all the way. I want you to do the very same thing. Close your eyes. Take a deep inhale. And start breath of fire. This is called Aura Charge. And it's one of my favorites to purify and strengthen that space, the energetic field of the aura, so that the interactions that we have, the weird ones or even the really good ones, don't impact us so much. And even our own thoughts, whether great and positive or downer and negative, those don't impact us so much either, because we experience that strength and power of our own energetic field. The catch is, you're going to be here for 3 minutes, of which 1 minute has already passed. So as you continue, I want you to cultivate and feel your own energy. Visualize that energy being stoked at the navel point with the breath of fire. You use the navel to bring your life force up into your heart. And then from that beautiful space of the heart, you extend that golden white light out through the hands, all around you. So all the way out in front of you, all the way out to the sides, all the way out behind you. Cultivating your loving, protective energy. Keep going. Everyone on the Zoom room, you guys look great. Last little bit. Focus in deep. Amazing. Now take your deepest inhale. And as you retain your breath in, bring your thumbs to touch up and overhead. Stretch your fingertips up wide. Keep retaining the breath and lift through Mula Bandha, rectum, sex organ, navel, up and in. And as you exhale, slowly release your hands down to the sides. Feel your own energy. So good. Now come up standing, please. And as you come up standing, get ready for frog pose. So heels are in, toes are apart. And with your heels in, toes apart, you're gonna squat down. Do your best here to make sure that your heels stay touching. If that's not possible for your body, don't worry about it. If the heels can touch though, consciously keep them together. You're gonna inhale, straighten the legs. And as you exhale, sit your hips down to your heels. You're gonna take 26 just like this and count for yourself. 26 repetitions. This is a great exercise for unlocking our creative energy and making that energy more available to us from the space of the heart, so that more often we experience ourselves in that creative flow space without needing to think about it so much. When you reach 26, I want you to come up standing. Good job. Slowly roll the length of your spine all the way up. And get ready for archer pose. So bring your feet out wide, 3.5 to 4 feet apart. Lift your right foot up, turn your whole leg out to the right, and bend your right knee so your right knee stacks directly above your ankle. Beautiful. Now draw back your bow. And I want you, your eyes are open here. You focus your attention and your gaze on a point on the wall in front of you. Take a deep inhale and start breath of fire. Very good. Push through your feet. Move your navel. This is a very powerful exercise to create focus and harness your energy for willpower. But I also want you to continually bring your attention back to that heart space. Getting quiet enough to listen. Last little bit. Now take your deepest inhale, hold the posture, and you feel that intention your heart wants to express. You focus your energy behind it. You draw back that bow. And as you exhale, release it. Now straighten that right leg. You can go ahead, take a moment, shake out your legs, shake out your arms. And come into the next side. Archer pose, left side. Take your deepest inhale and start breath of fire. Feeling into that desire of the heart. Creating movement by cultivating and stoking our own energy and power in this way. And then instead of letting it leak out in all directions, we put that power, that life force energy behind that intention. We create movement in that way. Last little bit, really focus. Now take your deepest inhale. Draw back that bow. And exhale, release. Good, straighten that front leg. I want you to come seated. And we're going to get into our meditation. But before we do, I want us to take a couple minutes to really put our intention into the elements, onto the paper. And so you might, for the next 60 seconds or so, if your intention still isn't coming into your awareness, you can just sit and meditate on it here for a moment. Ask your heart what it's desiring to experience. Ask your heart what it really wants for you. Ask your heart what it wants you to uplift. And then when it comes into your awareness, you put it onto the paper in few enough words that it's clear and you can bring it into your awareness easily when you need to. And in the semantic, in the very words that create resonance within your own heart. So when it becomes clear to you, write it down. And also don't overthink it. If it's not coming to you right now, you can always write it down later. And when you get it on the paper, for just a few deep breaths here, I want you to focus on that intention for yourself. Feel it in your heart. Feel your own desire to experience happiness. That deep, vulnerable, soft spot. That deep longing that every single one of us has in common. that binds us together. Good. Take a deep inhale. Deep exhale. Now we're going to use the meditation to really now that we've found that intention, to put our navel energy behind it. That's our willpower, our confidence, and I think of the navel as our ability to move our energy from the lower triangle to the heart. When we have strong navel power, we can move our energy and make things move in our life. So I'm going to have you come rock pose to get into Sat Kriya. We're only going to do 11 minutes today. As we go forward, we're going to do 22 minutes each week, but today is just going to be 11. Now, Leah here placed a cushion in between her sit bones and her heels. I always do that in Sat Kriya. It makes it more comfortable for me so I can really focus on the meditation. You're going to interlace your fingers with your index finger up. Thank you, Aki. And now, if you identify with the feminine polarity, I'm going to fix my mic here. If you identify with the feminine polarity, your left thumb, if you can see here, left thumb is over the right thumb. Now, if you identify with the masculine polarity, right thumb is over the left, just like this. If you don't identify with either, just do the one that feels good to you today. And you're going to lift your arms up and overhead. Close your eyes. And you're going to move the navel and chant with the mantra. As you chant Sat, navel comes in. And as you exhale, it releases. I'm going to take a second and reset our music, and then we're going to get started. Now, one important note here is that the navel isn't just moving in Sat Kriya, it's moving up. So instead of just moving the navel forward and back, which is a tendency of mine personally, I want you to think every time you draw the navel in, you're really using your core muscles, core energy to lift up and in. It's like an ocean wave, up and in with the navel. Now go ahead and get into the posture. Fingers interlaced, index finger is up. Close your eyes, gaze your third eye, and start to chant. Sat Nam, Sat Nam, Sat Nam, Sat Nam, Sat Nam. Last couple minutes. Really focus in and bring your good energy to it. Inhale. Retain your breath. Lift rectum, sex organ, navel up and in. And circulate your energy up and out through your fingertips. Exhale all your breath out. Again, inhale. Lift pelvic floor. Gaze your third eye. Use your navel to lift and circulate that energy up. Exhale. Final time, inhale. Lift. Gaze, third eye. Now stay with me. Exhale. Get all your breath out. Stay in the posture. Hold your breath out. Get every last little breath out. So exhale through the mouth a little bit. And with the breath out, you lift, Mula Bandha. Lift through your diaphragm. Apply neck lock. Draw the sides of your throat back. Good job. Inhale. And exhale, relax. Find your way onto your backs for your final resting Shavasana. Relax completely. And let all your good work, all the energy you created, that intention you set for yourself, rest and integrate into every cell of your body. When you feel yourself distracted, deepen your breath. And then start to move your fingers. Move your toes. You can rotate your wrists, rotate your ankles. And then bring your hands to touch. Bring your feet to touch. And rub your palms. Rub the soles of your feet together. Cat stretch to the right, so take your right knee across your body. Twist to the right. And then switch, take your left knee across your body. Twist to the left. Hug your knees into your chest. And rock the length of your spine a couple times up to seated. As you come up seated, bring your hands onto your heart. And breathe into the space of your heart. Thank yourself for showing up to your practice. And thank your heart, that pure energy, for being a refuge for you to continually come back to. And bring your hands to prayer pose. We'll sing the Long Time Sun song just once to close. May the long time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on, guide your way on, guide your way on. Silent now. Silent now. Bowing in. We thank ourselves. We thank each other. We thank these practices and teachings that we benefit so much from. All those who have passed them down to us. And we bow into that part of ourselves that is perfect in nature and needs no changing at all. May we get closer and closer to that place. Satnam. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Now, as we move forward, today we went 90 minutes, hour and a half. As we move forward throughout these weeks, this class is going to be an hour to an hour and 15 minutes. So we're going to keep it shorter. Today I wanted to take a little bit of a longer time to really set our foundation, get clear on our intention, and really lay the groundwork. But from here, we're flying. So every week, hour to an hour and 15, Wednesday morning, 10 a.m. We're going to do these warm-up exercises, or once in a while we'll do Nabi Kriya with Leah, and 22 minutes of Sat Kriya. I want to invite you, as we move forward through these weeks, maybe if you feel called, keep a journal of things that you notice, things that come up as you're moving through this practice. I'm going to do that myself. I think there's something really valuable in kind of putting our energy, our thoughts, things that we're noticing on paper, and just watching how they may shift, change, or move over the next 40 days. I also want to encourage you, take your little piece of paper with your intention and place it somewhere that you will continually see it each and every day. Maybe when you sit down to practice, maybe like me, it's at my mirror. Every time I look in the mirror, I'm reminded of why I'm doing this practice in the first place, what I want to transmute and uplift. So make sure you have that with you. And then for those of us who are new to Kundalini Yoga and want additional information and guidance on how to really get into this practice, the disposition, the energy, the different body locks, the technology of the practice, go to class series, yoga class series in the Academy, and check out that 3-part beginner series. That's where Jaidev really unpacks the art and science of Kundalini Yoga in a way that we necessarily won't be able to in these shorter classes. So if you're brand new, I highly encourage you to check those out. And that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'm super excited to see you next week. Satnam.
You're wired you have a certain way of existing that is absolutely natural and for you. It's talented in that way. It's how your heart expresses itself. It's how you get inside of love, and how love expresses itself uniquely through